All right, we are back. Sorry for that interruption. I had to do manual reset so that we could uh, we could get you back. So we are live again, and with us we're going to have Stan Okoye joining us, as we said earlier, and then we're going to be chronicling his foray into basketball, how he became a professional basketball player, and also Stan, if you can hear me. Hey, what up?
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm good. What about your dread? What happened?
Oh, I cut them off like in December.
Oh, after the World Cup.
Yeah, it was too hard to manage.
Oh, okay, okay. How you
Yeah,
doing?
but I'm good. How are you? It's been too
I'm
long.
I'm very well, yeah. Say hi to Nigerians who are watching you here right about now.
Hey, how you guys doing? Give me a
So
thumbs up if you're in Nigeria.
so Stanley, good evening. Tell us, who is Stanley Okoye?
Who am I? I don't know. I mean, uh, I'll say I'm many things. As you guys know me, an athlete, basketball player that's from Nigeria, born in America, uh, Igbo man
So which part
uh,
of the country are you from?
in Nigeria,
Yes, Nigeria.
Anambra State.
We're in Anambra.
Yeah. Um, Agoku Inri.
Okay. Igbo Kwenu.
Yeah.
So your basketball journey, how did it start?
It started as a kid. Where I grew up, everybody in the neighborhood played basketball. Nowadays, if you go back there, nobody's really outside playing. But when I was growing up, everybody had a court, everybody had a goal, and um, I always followed my older brother playing, and I always wanted to play with him and his friends. And I tried to join a team when I was younger, but I wasn't so good, and I had a hard time, so I quit. And I just started following, the other guys in the neighborhood and start playing with them. And I didn't start playing organized again until 13 or 14.
So all those periods you were also combining it with education because you said you didn't start playing basketball until you were 13 and 14 again after you called it quit earlier.
Yeah, pretty much organized ball. So I started playing again in school. It was in the eighth grade at Corners Middle School. For those back home that know, um, we had a pretty decent team in Raleigh in middle school, and then that's when I first started taking on the AAU and traveling around and playing basketball that way. Because AAU is a bit more competitive than the school ball.
So growing up as a black kid in the US, take us through the journey.
The journey, um, as a black kid in the U.S. early on, I didn't really you don't really notice those things. First of all, I was noticing, the jokes for being African. People would make fun of the name, and when I was very small, I had an accent too because I was only around my parents, and obviously they have the thick Nigerian accent. So, you get picked on and stuff for things like that, but then you grow and you learn to appreciate it. Um, but for the other things, it's not easy. We don't have the same experience as everybody else.
Um, in terms of parental support, how much of that did you get from your parents while growing up playing basketball? Who was the most supportive?
Both of them, they're very supportive. My dad, he liked soccer a lot, more than basketball, but because all of us love basketball, he started to follow the sport as well. But on a day-to-day basis, my mom was the one that always drove me to practice, and if we were begging for things like a basketball goal or a ball, she'd be the one that probably helped us to get it.
So who bought you your first basketball shoe and probably ball?
Sorry,
Your first basketball shoe and ball. Who bought it for you? Your mom or your dad?
my dad, my dad for sure. Yeah.
Right. Um, you've been around for a while now in the national team. Um,
Hey.
the AfroBasket 2013. You were one of the guys that won for Nigeria in 2015.
Mhm.
Um, you were at the 2016 Olympics in Rio and also at the World Cup in China in 2019 with some other awesome guys. How did you find yourself? in the national team? How were you contacted?
I was like contacted after my senior season in college, the Virginia Military Institute. I was contacted by, I don't remember who exactly reached out to me. It might have been Ayo Bakare. Um, and he asked me if I wanted to join the national team and if I knew anything about it. Obviously, I did. Because I remember the year before in 2012 when they qualified for the Olympics, it was a really big deal. But they reached out to me, and we first had the training camp in LA, and it was my first time going to LA. So I was like, of course I want to come. I just finished doing like NBA workouts and things like that. And they mentioned going to China and asked me if I wanted to come if I had the time. And I went out there and played and had a great experience. So, fast forward, we had the Afro basket that summer in 2013, and that's how I met the full group, and fell in love with it.
Falling in love with it. You were quite young when you came in 2013, because looking at your age now, you're still in your late 20s.
Yeah.
How were you able to find your feet? How were you able to establish yourself amongst the older guys?
Everybody's very, very talented, especially that time being one of the younger guys. I knew I wasn't really expecting to play a lot, but I remember there was a lot of injuries and, a lot of unforeseen circumstances. Like Champ wasn't able to play, and then Andy was injured. Richard Aruche was injured. So as soon as we got to Ivory Coast, three guys were unable to play. So I ended up playing a lot of minutes. And that way I got comfortable. The guys had some faith in me.
Who made your arrival in the team? Who made it very comfortable for you? Probably the coach, or probably one of the players who told you, okay, Stan, and do this.
The players for sure. The veterans that were there, like Ike, Rook had already played a year. Alade had already played a year before there. Also Champ, Ben, all the older guys, they made us all feel welcome. At the time, me and Jamal Alasawere, he came in at the same time with me. And, we were like the young guys on the team, so they all took care of us.
If you had to choose between the 2015 set and this current set of young, talented players in Europe and also in America, which one will you prefer, 2015 or 2019, 2020?
I can't choose, man. I can't choose.
But
I have a special relationship with everybody on the team on both of those squads, so I can't really choose a favorite. But I can tell you that in 2015 when we won the gold in Tunisia, that was definitely a great feeling. First championship that I had won. But this year, 2019, things had changed because at that time I was still one of the younger guys. Now I've been on the team 7 years. So it was good to be like more in a leadership role off the court.
So you've actually been in the team now for the past 7 years. That should probably make you 22 at that time you joined the national team.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, time's flying.
Best moment in the national team. You spoke about the Afro basket, 2015. But which one will you prefer? Which one will you pick? 2015, the Olympics, or the World Cup?
The experience or the team? Like, what do you mean exactly?
Best moment in the team.
Oh, the best moment.
Yeah.
The best moment for sure was when we won gold in Tunisia. I mean, that was something that we had worked hard for a long time. I mean, in 2013, we had such a we're just so distraught because we lost to Senegal in I believe the quarterfinals. And we were expected to probably win that whole thing. And for us to get upset like that, we had a lot to make up for. So I remember when we got to Tunisia, everybody staying in the same hotel, we didn't speak to anybody else. Like we were there for business. So like our attitude was a lot different. But I don't know, winning obviously is the best feeling. So when we won the championship and qualified for the Olympics the next summer.
A lot of guys who won't be able to make it to the Olympics, whether as a professional basketball player or as a journalist or as a sport lover. But you were in the 2016 Olympics in Rio, which qualifies you to be an Olympian. Probably 2% out of the world population who will probably experience
what it means or what it feels to go to the Olympics. Tell us that feeling of participating at the Olympics.
Oh, it was surreal because, you grew up watching it on TV. You grew up watching the track events, the gymnastics, all those different events. And you dream one day to be in that situation, to be on walking across, the track and stuff like that, and opening ceremony. So for me, that moment right there was the most special. All my family and friends, I felt like they were there with me when I was doing it.
Um, do you think the guys or the team underachieved?
That summer,
Yes, the Summer Olympics.
yeah, I think we underachieved. 'Cause I know for sure we could have won more games. We came out and I believe we beat Croatia the first game. And then I don't believe we won a game after that. So I think we underachieved. But I mean, you got to remember that the first possession or the first quarter of the whole tournament, Shane went down with a bad injury and couldn't play again. We lost him. Ben was battling a serious injury that he had to get fixed the next summer or the following summer. So um, we won a complete team. Al Farouk wasn't there either. So it was. I mean, I don't like to make excuses, but I feel like this summer the guys were really ready to get back there and show different Nigeria.
Um, as a professional, what's your daily routine playing
My
basketball?
daily, I'm playing basketball, so I'll hear my daily routine. Get up, have breakfast, something light because usually we practice in the morning. The practice, composed of a warm up, skill development, and then we compete against each other for about 2 hours at a time. Usually there's downtime in between, go home for lunch, might take a nap for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then I have another evening session. And this goes from Tuesday to Saturday pretty much. And then out here we have games usually on Saturday or Sunday. And then our off day will be Monday.
So how do you relax? Go clubbing, read books, play games, just watch TV or
Oh,
something.
and in the free time, yeah. So like here, I have a dog here. He's over here somewhere. He takes up a lot of time because he's crazy. And then I watch series. I like to follow the stock market, so I'm always doing that, trying to research some stuff. Um, if I have free time, I like to try to travel a little bit. Like right now, I'm in Gran Canaria, so there's a lot of places to see right by the beach. So I just try to explore and dive into the culture a little bit where I'm at. So I like to try the local foods, try their local wines, all those things.
What about entertainment? Do you listen to Nigerian music? Or what
Yeah,
Nigerian
of
music?
course, of course. Burna Boy is my favorite right now. But there's a lot of great artists, and it's crazy how they're taking over the world now. I mean, you go in clubs all over the world, and you hear the Afro beats. I think is the next wave. Soon, the Americans are going to try to make the same type of music.
All right. Um, this debate has been going on for a very long time. LeBron, Michael Jordan, um, Magic Johnson. Who do you think, in your own opinion, will be described as the greatest of all, or the best, or the all-time great when it comes to the history of NBA?
I say Michael Jordan. Just because LeBron might be more God gifted. As far as his body type, his athleticism, his longevity. He's in his I don't know what season he's in, but he's still at his top shape. But Michael Jordan, just because of his mentality, I think it pushes him over the edge. At the end of the game, he always wanted the ball, and he wanted to take the shot. As far as his ring goes, Michael Jordan always closed out those games. With LeBron, some of his rings, Ray Allen saved him in one game. Kyrie Irving hit the game-winning shot, even though he had the game-saving block. But they bring different things. So, in my opinion, if somebody said that LeBron was the best, I mean, I wouldn't argue with them because they're right to have their opinion, and that's all it is at the end of the day. But it's like for me, I think it's like 1A, 1B. Michael Jordan being 1A.
Somebody on Instagram, Cam underscore Khalifa.
I want to make a comment real quick because I saw Josh Okoye wanted to say something earlier. I want to tell him that he's ugly, and we can continue.
Okay. Um, so, somebody on Instagram asked you a question.
Okay.
how did you realize your role on the court? How did you come to realize your role? Probably as a small forward, as a big man.
Oh, okay. At a, I mean, growing up, I was always taller than everybody else. So a lot of teams I was playing center or power forward. And by the time I got to high school, my height stopped growing, so I had to change my game a little bit and try to develop more on the outside. So throughout high school, I used like my coaches, he'll change my position and let me play on the wing a lot more. And in the summertime, I was able to do the same thing. So just working on that. So height plays a big part of that. Like even out here now, I play a lot of shooting guard. In college, I didn't play much shooting guard. In college, I played 3 and 4 because we played small ball.
And I must confess that your shooting has continued to improve. So,
Yeah.
questions on Twitter now. Let's take one first. How will your chemistry with your current teammates? How will you rate it?
Rate the chemistry with my current teammates, with
Yeah,
the Nigerian team or with my team here.
no, Nigerian team first.
Oh, it's really good. It's really good. Because we spend like before we have our competitions, we spend a lot of time together. We spend a whole lot of time together. Like from morning to night, we're doing everything together. We're eating, we're going shopping, we're doing everything together. So that helps a lot when you get on the court.
What about if you're not in competition mode? How do you guys interact?
Uh, I mean, usually it's just a lot of games. Everybody's talking a lot of trash to each other, listening to music. A lot of the guys like to play FIFA, so we play FIFA a lot. Um, like for example, like when we're in big cities, like when we have training in like Atlanta, we like to go to the Nigerian restaurants there. Depending on if there's any events going on, we'll try to check something out together. So we like to do everything in groups together. I mean,
Uh, Somebody said, coming out of college, what was it like first for you adjusting to life as a professional?
you said coming out of college,
Yeah, and
what
then
was
life
the
as
biggest adjustment?
yeah.
Um, well, so my first contract I signed in Greece, and I was only there for like a month in the preseason. My biggest adjustment was because the language barrier was tough. I couldn't really communicate with the coach. I didn't really understand what he wanted from me, and I was just so used to I was so used to a certain style of play as well. And I felt like when I came to Europe, I had to learn everything all over again. Not exactly how to play basketball, but reading the game, the way I play defense, rotating on defense, helping each other out. Because in college we played a whole different style of basketball. American basketball is a lot of one on one. Not that we don't play together, but the concept is a score. Versus overseas, there's a lot like they want you to play within the system a lot, and I had a hard time adjusting to that at first.
Now, coming from America, having your background, your basketball fundamentals in the US, and then playing pro overseas in Europe, Italy, Spain, and Greece, how fast were you able to unlearn some of this attack that is very synonymous with American basketball and more of defense and also team play when it comes to playing overseas?
I'll say it took me a couple of years. It wasn't until uh, I'll say the end of my second season when I was in Italy in Varese. Um, the coach was really, really, really strict, but he was able to get his point across, and his style worked for me. His style worked for me to as far as learning. So most of the things that I know now, I picked up that season. We did a lot of extra stuff outside of the team practice individually that helped me, and we broke down film a lot too, and that helped. Like we watched the most film I've ever watched in my life that year.
So I know you've been so accustomed to following a regimen, playing basketball as a professional. Now this lockdown for you, coronavirus lockdown, which has been battling um, the human race all over the world. And then, how have you been able to cope without, how will I put it now, sense of purpose of going to gym in the morning? I'm looking forward to training session, or looking forward to match days. How have you been able to cope?
I'm just trying to keep myself busy. So the first thing I do in the morning, because the restrictions here are very strict because obviously we have one of the highest rates of the virus in the world right here in Spain. So I'm able to actually go outside because I have the dog. So I just walk him, and being outside changes your mood a little bit. So after I walk him, I come home and I get a nice exercise. And our team gave us some equipment to use, and I do that inside. Obviously, I don't have a basketball to use, but trying to keep my cardio up and working on every muscle in my body to try to stay fit. But trying to stay busy. I pick up series. I'm trying to learn some Spanish and just communicate with a lot of friends back home and even here. It helps a lot.
We have some Nigerian players in Spain, Michael Eric. We have Adara Lono, captain of the B Tigers. We have Elo Edefiorioka, also playing in Spain.
Uh-huh.
Evelyn Akata was formerly in Spain before going to France. Do you guys hang out? Do you guys do Nigerians in Spain, and then you probably hang out for a dinner or lunch or have a drink?
Honestly, we never really had the time to do it. We're all so spread out. We never really had the time to do it. So it's really tough. But when I play against Mike this year, we were able to hang out a little bit. But it's tough. It's tough to be able to do that because we're always busy. Especially like for him, he plays in the EuroLeague, so he has 2 games a week, and usually one of his games is outside the country. It's really tough to meet up with everybody.
Somebody is asking whether they can see your dog, and they never.
Oh, you want to see the dog? All right, 1 second. Oh yeah, I just want to say hello to everybody back in America, in Italy, in Spain, Nigeria. I didn't get a chance to do that when I caught on. Here he is right here.
Right.
He's shy.
So what's the name?
His name is Eze. And those that don't know, it means king in Igbo.
Right. Fantastic. 2020, 2021 is going to be a very busy year. The rescheduling of the Olympics, the AfroBasket qualifiers, and also the AfroBasket proper. Any target? Starting with the Olympics.
Any target? For us, we've always talked about it. Like we want to medal. We want to medal, especially like in the World Cup this past summer. I feel like we had that opportunity. If we would have got out the group stage, we would have had a pretty decent route to get to a medal. But we have to look forward, and the Olympics. That's our goal: is to medal. We want to stand on the podium.
What about qualification for AfroBasket and the target if you qualify?
For AfroBasket? Oh, that's always it's always gold. It's always gold. They know we're the best in Africa, so we have to get gold every time. If we don't, then we're falling short.
Let's take our men back to China. First game against Russia, second loss against Argentina, and then our last win, which was not enough for us to qualify. You were there, I was there. Have you been able to get over the disappointment? And then what do you think went wrong over there in China?
Have I gotten over it? Yeah, I've gotten over it now. But what went wrong? I don't know. I think that we had coming into China, we had a lot of distractions. I mean, I guess like we even took to social media to voice our concerns and things like that. I want to be politically correct. I can't really say what's on my mind.
Okay.
But
yeah. Do you think the game against Russia especially was something that we could have won?
Oh, for sure. We had. I feel like we had that game won. We just had to close it out, and we weren't able to do that.
Okay. From Bibo Niger, one of the biggest promoter of basketball in Nigeria, he likes to know what happened during the Summer Olympics in Rio. We remembered you were healthy, but you did not play any game.
Uh-huh.
What happened behind the scene? Did anything happen? Why didn't you step on the cup?
It was just the coach's decision. I mean, it was fine. It was. I mean, now it's fine. But at the time, obviously I wanted to play. I feel like I could contribute and help us win, even if it wasn't scoring or whatever. I feel like I could do something. But it was the coach's decision, and I respected that. But it just motivated me to work harder the next year.
Now, the
Uh,
Federation has announced addition to the coaching crew ahead of the Olympics in the person of Mike Brown.
mm.
Do you think this is going to make any difference in terms of chemistry, team play, and also what the team can achieve?
Oh yeah, I mean, I mean, he has a great track record. He coached LeBron James, he coached Kobe Bryant, he coached a lot of great players. He coaches still with the Warriors now. But I think that he has to be able to have the right preparation. So that as long as they give him the right utilities to prepare us, then I think we can do well.
So when you talk about preparation, what are you looking at? Time frame? 2 months, 3 years, 1 year?
No, I mean, it doesn't have to be that. It could be 2 months. It could be as small as 2 months or whatever. But we have to be able to practice every day. We had a lot of issues last summer, because of the funding, and we weren't able to practice every day. We didn't have our clearances and everything like that, and it limited us at practicing. Even when we got to China, we started having some issues. But hopefully going forward, those things change. I think it will.
Now let's focus on your club. Now you're playing in Spain. Um, for everybody playing basketball, they want to play possibly in the NBA. Why is it difficult for that NBA dream to materialize for you?
I mean, there's a limited amount of spots in the NBA. I mean, I'm a very rational person. I'm very realistic. So I mean, I didn't get the opportunity to play. I did summer league a few times, worked out with teams in the summer, and I wasn't what they were looking for. I feel like I could play there. I feel like a lot of us that aren't there can play there. We just don't have the right circumstances to put us there.
And then we just have Gabriel Vincent, who was
hmm
signed to a short-time contract in the NBA. Um, do you think he has what it takes to excel at that level?
Yeah, for sure. You saw him in the World Cup. He went crazy. He went crazy in the World Cup, and we were all very impressed. That's why by the time he had his D League season and he got called up and got his two-way contract, at that time it wasn't a surprise anymore. Everybody knows he can play, and he deserves a fully guaranteed contract.
Let's look at your track record for the past since you started playing in I think 2013. You went to
Yeah,
Israel, Barak Nataya, and then 2014 you went to Perth Redback.
yeah,
2014, 2015 you went to Vares
Varese. Yeah.
yeah, Vares. You went to Matera, you went to Trapani and all that and all that and all that down to where you are right now, Gran Canaria. I mean,
hmm
total you played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 teams between 2013 and 2020. Why the constant movement?
Because I've been trying to make the right decision for my career. So you obviously want to get to the highest level. So some moves were just for experience. For example, going to the second division, and after playing in the first division of Italy, that was just to get the confidence back, to get the rhythm back, and to show teams how well I can play. And down there, that's when I was in Udine, Matera, and Trapani. Then I went back to Varese just to show I could play. I deserved to play here, um, and that gave me the opportunity, excuse me, to come to Spain.
Your best, the best club you've ever played for?
Sorry. The best club I ever played for?
Yeah, that you felt at home. You felt okay. This is family.
I was honestly everywhere I've been, they show me a lot of love. In Varese, they show me a lot of love there. Um, Even coming back there for a second time, they show me a lot of love, and even now I still talk to a lot of the fans on a consistent basis. Um, in Zaragoza, they show me a lot of love as well. Even when I came back to play against them this year, I didn't have the best game, but everybody there was showing me love. I got a nice applause, and that was very special. And here, is a very like the culturally they're just very it's like the South in America. We say Southern hospitality. Here the people are very welcoming. They're very laid back and relaxed. And once I first signed here, I was getting all the messages, and I was happy that I was here. So I mean, I've been pretty comfortable in a lot of the places I've been. So it's just a blessing because not every situation can be like that.
Um, from Sarah Goke, your counterpart, she's saying hi.
Oh,
Won 2015 AfroBasket.
hmm
Nigeria also
yeah.
won 17 with
So Sarah,
Yeah. She's asking you your top dunk, your
my
career.
top dunk, my top
Yeah.
dunk was probably last season against when I was in Zaragoza against Barcelona. Towards the end of the game, I made a crossover and then uh, dunked on two people and sent one guy to the ground. That's probably my best dunk as a pro.
What about your best game? Your best
My
career
best
game
my best career game
for club and national team.
for the national team.
Yeah, and also for your club.
For the national team, I don't remember. I remember 2013. I think I had a game with over 20 something points. Made a lot of threes in Ivory Coast. And then I mean here overseas, probably last season I had a 30 maybe 31 point game. One game I hit eight. I made eight threes last year in one game, so maybe that was probably the best game against Murcia.
Um, best buzzer shot. Best one.
A
Buzzer
best
shot.
buzzer beater.
Yeah.
Best buzzer beater was probably last year. It was definitely last year. It was a very important game. We needed to win the game in order to make the playoffs, and there was like 1 second left, and I got the ball in the corner and shot it, and it's in Andorra, and it went in, and we got the win. So that's probably my best buzzer beater.
Okay. How do you stay in shape during this quarantine period?
Oh, like I was telling you, our physio, our strength and conditioning coach, he gave us a program to follow. They give us a lot of materials. I mean, I can show you guys a few things. Um, let me see. I have like a yoga mat. I have some push-up bars. I have a jump rope. I have resistance bands. I have an ab roller, and then I have this bike over here. So I use this bike a lot. That's how I stay
So,
in shape. But
so if the season resumes today, we're good to go.
will I be good to go? No, I won't be good to go. I think I'll need a week or two, to get my lungs going properly. Because it's different using a bike and running. But
Somebody's asking here, Jamanji, if you could make a change, just one change in Nigerian basketball, what would that be?
um, for Nigeria as a country or the team, but I'm gonna answer this as Nigeria as a whole. I would try to change the opportunities for the kids there. I think it'd be better. Like Nigeria, there's a lot of hidden talent there, and if they had more facilities, gyms, even the outdoor courts, uh, more coaches, more leagues, we could find a lot more talent there. And I was fortunate to be, born and raised in America, but I know there's a lot of people out there that want to have the same dream that I had as a kid and want to achieve it.
Are you going back to the NBA in the summer to probably participate in the NBA Summer League?
No, no, I think I'm done with that. Yeah, because yeah, I
What
need
you
if
need
it's not
what?
the if it's not the national team, then I'll be home.
So, what advice do you give to current college players, as probably secondary schools and primary schools? Because we have a lot of them in Nigeria here, in Lagos,
Yeah.
Anambra, where you come from, all around the country, who are aspiring to become a professional like you, probably play in the NBA, play outside Nigeria. What advice do you give to them for them to succeed? We know that there's no sure pathway to success.
Right.
But
I would say, in most stories, nobody's story is the same as anybody else's. Most of the time, the underlying theme is that they didn't quit, they didn't give up. I probably had a very unconventional way of making it to where I am now. There was times where I felt like, it's not going to happen because of things I couldn't control, and I wanted to stop, and wanted to pursue other things because I feel like it wasn't going to happen. But something inside of me told me not to quit, and this is the dream that I wanted, and opportunity and chance also played a factor into that. But as long as you're working hard, you'll be ready for the opportunity, and then the right situation can come from it. But I would say to anybody, a kid, a college athlete, just don't give up.
as an aspiring pro, just landing your first contract,
Yeah,
I know it means a lot to people, and then it's that critical moment that you either make it or you break yourself.
yeah.
Probably you misspend your fortune, and then your attitude on the court changes. What advice do you give to a person who just got his first professional contract on how to stay calm and then maintain that same level of discipline on and off the court?
Yeah, I would say, once you sign your first contract, it means nothing because, obviously you can play bad, you can get hurt. A lot of things can happen that could affect what happens to that contract. At the same time, you still haven't proved anything yet just because you signed a contract. You have to go out there and perform, and that's most important. I think the next most important thing is just to remember why you're there and remember why you like what you do. Try to enjoy, even if things aren't going well. You find a way to smile and love what you're doing.
Okay, your favorite Nigerian food? Do you
My
have
favorite
any?
my favorite Nigerian food, uh, probably egusi soup. But right now, like the past few weeks, I've been craving some meat pie. So, so probably meat pie.
Okay. You've worked with probably three different coaches, the national team. Um, back then, that
Oh,
had
my bad.
it just started. In 2013, we had Ayo Bakare um, as the coach of the team. In 2015, we had Will Voigt as the head coach, and then going to the qualifiers and also the World Cup proper. Uh, we have or we had what's his name now? Alex Nwora. Alex
Hmm.
Nwora as the head coach. Any difference between these three coaches?
Any differences? I mean, they all come from different backgrounds. They all have different experience. Bakare, he coached mainly, from what I understand, he coached mainly in Nigeria, um, and he was more of a coach that was like, "What do you guys want to do?" He was interested in our opinion, what we wanted to do, things like that. Coach Voigt was he came from a NBA side of things, development league. I think that's his most recent job before he coached with us. And he had a big group around him, and they were big on the mental side of the game, but also we were very defensive minded. So the first thing we did was defense in the training. Um, and then Coach Alex, he can relate to us a lot because he's a bit younger, and he's also Nigerian, and he played in the States and for overseas a bit. So our relationship with him was a little bit different. We were able to joke with him a lot more and things like that. So they all were pretty different.
You spoke about the mental part of basketball, being able to relate with your coaches, being able to interpret, being able to feel at home. We know that basketball is more mental than probably the physical side of
Yeah.
it to maintain your cool. So, how do you balance it during the season and off the season?
During the season, in the off season,
Yeah.
um, I think while I'm in season, I have a different mentality. I feel like you had that competitive spirit, and I won't say like I feel like I'm on edge, but yeah, like I have what we call like being locked in. So like during these months, I'm fully locked in, and I'm not really thinking about doing anything but playing basketball every day. So in the off season, that switch kind of turns off, and it becomes more so like enjoying myself and being with family and friends because 9, 10 months of the year I'm away. But during the season, the mental part is very, very important. So, while I'm on the court, I just try to stay as focused as possible, and I do things, while I'm at home, to balance myself, like meditate, listen to certain music, like reggae and classical music, and that helps me a lot.
Any program rituals? Probably praying or listening to music or screaming or punching the wall. What do you do before every match day? Before you step on the court to play?
I don't have a specific routine, but I just like to sit in the locker room and try to get in my zone. I listen to my music. That's what usually keeps me balanced before games is the music that I listen to. It's not necessarily getting hyped up. A lot of times I had teammates that did that for me. My emotion usually comes out like while I'm on the court playing.
Who's the funniest guy on the team? National side, national team.
The funnest guy?
Always cracking jokes and making you guys laugh.
That's tough. The funniest guy right now. I don't know. That's tough because there's a lot of funny guys. Like, everybody, like our relationship, you guys won't understand because like it's literally nonstop. Everybody just going at each other. Everybody going at each other. Like I can't choose one. It's
Are
really
you top
tough. But I can
top
tell
three?
you,
Yeah,
sorry,
top three. Top three.
top three. Al Farouk is pretty funny. Ike Diogu is pretty funny. And who could I pick for number three? Michael Eric is pretty funny as well. Um, I can't. Everybody has their funny sides, man. It's
What
an
about
inside thing.
your hype man on the team?
You said what?
The hype
The
man.
hype the hype man on the team.
Yeah.
The hype man on the team. Before I could tell you for sure, hands down, Shane.
Okay.
Hands down, Shane. And even now, like before our competition, Shane is in our group chat and he's like bigging us up and try to get us even more motivated. Now it's more balanced. Everybody, talks to each other and try to pump each other up. But Shane was on another level.
Um. Let's look at that generation. The likes of
Hmm.
Noguchi, the likes of Sheni Lawa. Um. How are you able to transit from being one of the youngest guys on the team to being one of the most experienced guys now, right now?
Um, for me, it's more humbling, because I came in, it was more about like, establishing myself and trying to make a name for myself. But, now I feel like I'm able to just take a back seat, even if, whether I'm playing or not, I'm able to just enjoy, being around the guys because I know we never see each other that often. Like, even though we spend a lot of time in the summer, throughout the year, we don't spend a lot of time with each other. So being around them, for me is a really good feeling, good experience. So as one of the more experienced guys on the team now, I try to keep that family aspect of the team going because it's almost like a fraternity now. All the guys that have played through, like we all stay in touch. So looking back at it is like you try to play like a big brother role almost as well with the younger guys and try to fill them in on what we've tried to accomplish throughout our years on the team.
It seems you left so many fans back in Zaragoza, and then they are trying to ask you, do you
Okay.
still that do you still want to come back? If given the opportunity, will you still think of going back to Zaragoza?
One day, yeah, I love Zaragoza. Yeah, right now, I'm in Gran Canaria, and this is the team that I'm playing for, and I love it here as well. But Zaragoza will always be home.
Biggest challenge for you as a professional and also as a man?
I would say trying to balance personal life and professional life, especially being far away. So the distance is very tough. Trying to have relationships, trying to stay in touch with your family and friends, missing out on events. Um, for example, missing out on my sister's wedding, missing out on one of my best friend's weddings, missing out on the birth of my nephew. So that's a really big challenge.
Um, Toughest team you ever played against?
Toughest team I ever played against was probably USA when we're in Houston, getting ready for the Olympics. That was crazy.
Any plan of being a coach one day after your retirement?
I've thought about it. Sometimes I think I can do it. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know, but I think I could do it. I would like to, but if I did it, I would like to do it at a higher level.
Chamberlain Oguchi is now a coach in the US. Shane Lawa is also a coach.
Yeah.
Are you drawing inspirations from this duo? It's just something that you love doing, or something that you can't see yourself not being around basketball?
I mean, I could see myself doing it because like them, I'm as passionate about the game as they are. So I can see myself doing it, because I know like when I'm done playing, I have to transfer this competitive attitude to something else, and coaching is a great way to do that. Um, and those guys are doing well at what they're doing.
How long do you still see yourself playing basketball?
I don't know. I want to play as long as I can, to be honest. I love playing. John Jay.
Um, Reaction to the Olympic postponement when you heard about it. What was the reaction like?
Oh man, honestly, it didn't surprise me. It didn't surprise me. I thought they were going to cancel it. I didn't know they were able to postpone it because I know they'll do it. They do it every 4 years. So when they postponed it, I was like, okay, cool. It gives us the opportunity to, take a step back. A lot of us can enjoy our summers, with our families because, guys like us that are overseas, we're away from them. Hopefully this pandemic is gone soon anyway, but, I think it was the right decision. A lot of the guys, like we talked about it, a lot of guys are ready to go out there and play, but, we'll be able to play next summer.
Do you think, like, right about now,
The
in the
Tony.
world, we don't know the level of the impact, probably positive or negative, this coronavirus is going to have um, the global community. We've seen some people losing their jobs. We've seen billions of dollars being lost in businesses and all over the world. Um, do you think this is going to have a negative effect on your career, or you see this as a moment for you to sit back, relax, and then have a broader view about your life as a person?
I think it depends on where you are in your career. So a lot of the guys that are at the end of their career, I know some guys plan on retiring this year and their seasons were canceled. So I know, now they have to go back and think like, do I want to come back and try to play another year or whatever? Also, we don't know when the season is going to start back up again. Here in Spain, they're trying to continue the season and finish. But we don't know how it's going to affect the world globally. We don't know if it's going to last until next year, until they find a vaccine or whatever. So, it has a big impact. A lot of teams are losing money as well because the money that they get, a lot of them come from sponsors, and these sponsors are, private businesses, and if they don't have money, they can't pay the teams to pay players. So we don't know. I don't know how big the impact might be. It's still early. It's been a few months, but if it lasts a very, very long time, I think the impact can be negative.
We've seen some players on the national team, um, retired and also current, the likes of Olumide Oyedeji giving back to the society. We've seen the Amino brothers going back to your state to invest in kids, handing out kits and all that. and we've seen Deji Akindele, also one of your teammates, giving back to the society, especially in Ogun State. Any plan for you, or what are you doing right now to play your own role, to impact
Mhm.
on the young kids, be it in Lagos, be it in Anambra State, or have you been doing something like that before?
No, I haven't. I really want to do it though. I really want to do it. That's something I really need to look at, especially right now that I have the time to just sit down and be able to plan something like that. But I really want to do it.
So what will be your first point of call? Lagos, Anambra, any?
It'll be. I mean, I would prefer to do Anambra. There's the players already going to Lagos a lot, and having camps there. So I would like to go somewhere different, especially closer to where my parents are from.
A lot of people are saying Jordan, Chimeze Metu, some of the stars for the future when it comes to the Bay Tigers. We thought
Uh-huh.
you guys are at the twilight of your career on the national team. How much of an asset is Jordan Wara to the national team?
He's a big asset. We saw in the FIBA windows, we saw in the World Cup. He's a very talented kid. And the future is definitely bright for him. Hopefully he has a promising NBA career, and he's going to help the national team for many, many years. Um, we have a lot of young guys, a lot of talented young guys. Even outside of Jordan, there's a lot of guys in college now that I'm pretty sure will come and play on the team. So, I mean, it's going to be scary for the rest of the world. That's how I see it. It's going to be scary.
You started very young too for the national team, and then for him also, I think he started his competitive basketball for Nigeria at the age of 18 years and some months.
Okay.
The pressure, are Nigerians putting too much pressure on him, expecting him to always deliver anytime he steps on the court?
I'm not sure. I don't really pay attention to the media, but I don't think it's affecting him if there is any pressure. I don't think it's affecting him. He plays with a lot of confidence, so I don't think it's going to affect him in any way.
Before I let you go, because I think we are probably running out of the 1 hour time window for Instagram Live. So before I let you go, fashion wise, which one is your best brand?
Fashion,
Yeah,
I'm not a big. I'm not very materialistic. But I would say there's like I mean if I buy jeans, I always go to G Star. Do you know G Star? Yeah, I like their jeans, but I'm not like a big Gucci or Louis Vuitton person. I don't really like those things, to be honest.
what about your best basketball shoe of the brand?
Best, I like Kobe's. I always playing Kobe's.
So
Yeah,
it means you miss him a lot.
yeah, for sure. He was my inspiration since I'll say since like 2000, 2001. Before then I was an Allen Iverson fan, but then after they killed them in the playoffs, I became a Kobe fan. So
All right,
very.
Stan Okoye, we appreciate you for your time,
Mhm.
and we really like what you're doing, and we also hope that you continue to do more and continue to give us joy um, through your achievements at the club level and also at the national team.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time again.
All right. Thank you. And I guess there's people still asking questions. So if they want to ask me, they can send me a DM and ask me. I'll be happy to answer.
Thanks, I appreciate it a lot.
All right.
God
Thank
bless.
you. Bye.
All right, people of the world, people of Nigeria, Lagosians, that was the first edition of MBBF Insta Live. Tomorrow we will back again with, this time around is going to be with a Dita Guest player. Guess who that's going to be? See you tomorrow.